In 2045, the world was shocked by the outbreak of nuclear war. Countries that were previously considered friends suddenly turned their weapons against each other. Nuclear missiles tore through the sky, leaving behind ashes and destruction. The Earth was plunged into chaos and the apocalypse. However, in the midst of this infernal heat, life did not stop. Some groups of survivors managed to find shelter in underground bunkers and zoned areas. One of these groups was the scientific research station New Horizon, located in the northern latitudes. Scientific specialist Ella Morgan stood on the edge of the bunker and looked at the threshold of death. She was one of the few who believed that life on Earth could be saved. Her mind and soul burned with the desire to find a way to revive a world buried under ashes and radiation. A few months after the start of the nuclear war, Ella discovered a strange signal from the deepest part of the bunker. She couldn't believe her mind it was a signal from a spaceship orbiting the Earth, left out of the impact zone. Ella Morgan and her team began to dig out the bunker, using their scientific knowledge and survival in terrible conditions. They were able to activate a hydraulic lift, which paved their way down to the deepest level of the bunker. There, in the gloomy and cold corridors, they found a secret room with space equipment. It was the remains of the forgotten flight of the first program, conceived as an attempt to colonize Mars in the event of a disaster on Earth. Ella and her team began rebuilding a spaceship called the Hope. They managed to activate the engines and prepare for launch into space. They had an opportunity to escape from the infernal war and start a new life on Mars. With a flashlight in her hand and a mixture of hope and fear in her heart, Ella Morgan entered the spaceship Hope. All systems were activated and the ship soared upward, leaving behind destruction and chaos to send humanity on a journey to a new beginning. The people who remained on Earth watched as the Hope disappeared into space, leaving the hope of salvation in the hearts of the survivors. Ella Morgan and her team became the first people to go to Mars in search of a new home and a new hope for humanity. And the Earth continued to spin in silent solitude, left in the shadow of the past, waiting for its return. Ella Morgan and her team, piloting the spaceship Hope, left the destroyed Earth and rushed to Mars, the last oasis of hope for the surviving members of humanity. On the way to the Red Planet, they encountered various technical problems and dangers, but thanks to the persistent efforts and scientific skill of Ella, the crew was able to overcome all adversities. When the Nadezhda approached Mars, they had a stunning view of the red surface of the planet. The mission flight of the first was in perfect order, but the most difficult thing was ahead: the creation of a stable base for life and survival on Mars. Ella and her team began deploying modules and equipment, working with incredible diligence and enthusiasm. As the base on Mars became more and more functional, the surviving crew members began to build a new society based on the knowledge and experience they brought with them from Earth. Ella has led the science and research efforts, helping everyone adapt to new conditions and explore the potential of Mars for future generations. Every day the base on Mars became more prosperous and self-sufficient. Crops grew in greenhouses, solar panels provided energy, and scientific research expanded the horizons of knowledge. Although the memory of the tragedy on Earth was always with them, the survivors on Mars aspired to a new future based on cooperation, creativity, and hope. And so Ella Morgan, who changed from a bunker shelter to a spaceship and finally to the planet Mars, became a symbol of survival and striving for new horizons. Her story has remained in the memory of posterity as a source of inspiration and a reminder that even in the darkest times, humanity can find a way to a brighter future.